Okay, now we will write point slope form of equation if given 2 points. This is my example. Now let us take a look of what I've been telling you, student. To write a linear equation, you need a point and a slope. We don't have the slope on our example, but we have 2 points. So therefore, I can write an equation. Okay, so let us begin. First, I need to determine the slope. I have 2 points here. So therefore, I can solve for the slope. The formula for the slope is y2 minus y1 equal x2 minus x1. Now, this x1, y1 is the coordinate or the coordinates of a point, the first point. This x2 and y2 are the coordinates of the second point. Now we will determine which one is the first point or which one is the second point. We can say this is the first point, this is the second point, or the other way around. This way our second point, and this is the first point. So, if we decide that this is your point number 1, point number 1, point number 2, so this is your x sub 1, a sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. That's how simple it is. Now we will start to plug in. When you plug in, student, try this strategy. Parentheses before you plug in. So, according to my formula, this is y2. My y2 is 0. y1, my y1 is 3. x2 is 1. y1, or x1 is negative 2. Okay? Now, I will solve. So, 0 minus 3 is negative 3. You can use your calculator to solve. 1 minus negative 2 is a positive 3. Now, that means when I simplify negative 1 divided by positive 3, my slope is negative 1. Okay? Now, I will teach you another way of finding the slope. If you are confused on this formula, okay, I can put it on table of values. The first column is always your x. Second column is y. I put the numbers here, negative 2, 3. This is 1 point, and I have the other point, which is 1, 0. Okay. Now, instead of y2 minus y1, I will say the formula that we're gonna use, I put it at the bottom. The formula that we're gonna use is change in y over change in x. Can you see this, student? Okay, I'm gonna move it. So I said change, this little triangle means change in y or delta y over change in x or delta x. When I change, I subtract. This simply means you subtract y2 minus y1. Okay, so if I arrange this point in a table, I can organize my thought, and all I have to do is to subtract this, to subtract the y values here. So this will be 3 minus 0. 3 minus 0 is equal to 3. So that is your change in y. My change in x will be -3 or -2 minus 1. And the answer will be -3. Okay, so I plug in. Change in y is +3. Change in x is -3. My slope is -1. So you'll see that you got the same number, -1. Now I have the slope. I have 2 points here. I am now ready to write my equation here. So this will be my equation. I can do two equations. If I select -2, 3 as my point, I have a point, I have a slope, I can do point slope form of equation. So therefore my equation will be y minus 3. The slope is -1, so I just put negative here. I know there is an invisible 1, and I said x minus -2 will be +2. This is my answer. If I select -2, 3 as my point. What about if I select the other point? Okay. 1, 0. So my equation will be y minus 0 equal the slope, which is a -1. You don't have to put the 1. It is invisible 1. X minus 1. Oops, y minus 0. You know, 0 is nothing, so I can just simply write y equal negative x minus 1. So this is my other equation on the same problem. Probably you're asking, why do I have two equations? Okay, let us justify that these two equations are equivalent. How will I justify it? I will graph it. Or I will graph it from here, okay? I will graph it from here. I know the point will be -2, +3. So, okay. This is the point, -2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And according to my first answer, the slope is -1. So I go down 1 to the right one, go down 1 to the right one, 1 to the right one, and then I connect the points. Okay. So this line has an equation of y minus 3 and then negative x plus 2. Now let us graph our second answer. So we know that the point is 1, 0. So that is the point, 1, 0. And the slope is -1. So I go down 1 to the right one, 1 to the right one, 1 to the right one. Do I got the same point, the same line? Yes, you do. So this same line, the equation is y equal negative x minus 1. Now I was able to justify that these two equations are equivalent and they will have the same line.